As you know, this retreat will be, the main focus will be pure consciousness. And it is something from the past I've spoken of it many times, but we'll be approaching it from a new perspective. And this new perspective refers first to deeper understanding of pure consciousness, and second, deeper understanding of the requirements that are needed from a human being, a student, a seeker, to actually reach it. Human beings simply cannot imagine such thing as pure consciousness. It's so much ahead of the collective evolution, and we are all part of the collective consciousness, that they cannot even relate to the concept, cannot understand at all what it is, other than just philosophically. So we need to provide a bridge in evolution so that reaching such not just a high state, but an important state for everyone can be made possible. Since pure consciousness will be the main subject, it will be the best that most of the time you sit with eyes open. Why with eyes open? Because pure consciousness awakens with eyes open. It is a particular dimension of consciousness that exists and is experienced in the waking state. It's not being experienced in sleep. It is being experienced in the waking state. And having eyes open allows you to fully experience your waking state. When you sit with eyes closed, you are moving to the situation between sleep and waking, which has its importance, but not for the sake of awakening of pure consciousness. At least not for the sake of the initial establishing of the horizontal depth in pure consciousness. Your initial identity, the place where you experience yourself conscious, at least relatively conscious, is in the primary me or primary attention in your eyes. That is your only center at the start of your existence on this planet. Well, it's initially not even a center, but the place in which we are relatively conscious. Because to be conscious, you need attention. And to recognize yourself being conscious, or at least to sense it, you need me. All of it is experienced in the eyes. When we want to activate pure consciousness, we are doing something very unusual. This is like the most confusing part of it. We are supposed to activate another attention, and we are supposed to relocate our sense of self towards the back of the head. So this is very unusual, but this is how it is done. This is the only way to open consciousness is through horizontal surrender. And it happens, as you know, through pure attention, which is an emanation of primary attention from the eyes towards the back. But it is not it's not being felt as an activity of primary attention. It's not like primary attention is focusing towards the back and is extending itself through this emanation. Rather, pure attention is activated through the intention in primary me's intelligence. And then it moves immediately back. So you don't feel that you are extending yourself from the front to the back. And this is also what some students are doing. They are actually making effort in primary attention in order to go back. There should not be effort at all. In fact, if there is an effort, if you feel yourself making effort, it means that you are doing it wrong. You just create more tensions in the front of your head, in your eyes, instead of going beyond the front. So it's done very gently, inconspicuously. The first step is actually, you do not need to capture this first step, but knowledge of it can be beneficial. That from the primary attention, you turn yourself back. It's like looking back. See, the primary attention is the seer in your eyes, and that seer is looking out using what we call external attention. Looking at this world, identifying all the things that we see visually, all the energy goes out. There's the initial situation when the primary me is entirely unconscious. But now we are trying to do something the opposite. Something opposite, which is looking back. But before one can look back, one has to be conscious in primary attention. There's in fact, a process of awakening and internalization of primary attention. So first it becomes conscious of itself. Second, it is able to feel itself deeper as me. Because this is your me. This is what you are. And initially, you are nothing else and nothing more, only that primary me in your eyes. The problem with trying to awaken primary me, or primary attention, is that you don't really want to concentrate in your eyes. That will create a discomfort. What you want is to gently identify that sense of me in your eyes, that sense of attention in your eyes, and somehow inconspicuously become one with it. That process continues later on, but one has to be conscious in primary me, at least on a basic level, or else what are we actually talking about? There's nobody home. How can we awaken pure me of consciousness if we do not have primary me at all? All that energy of consciousness, which is a combination of energy of attention, primary attention, and intelligence, it comes from that place. So if you are not conscious in yourself, in your eyes, how can you transmit or transfer any kind of consciousness into your body? You don't have consciousness to transfer. You can transfer only something that you've got. So, turning the primary me back, inward person, which is actually the same. And the next step is to feel yourself at the back of your head. But the trick here is that the moment you feel yourself at the back of your head, you must forget the front. You must forget even that inward seer, the one which is looking back. You need to forget it, because otherwise you will be split in your identity. And you will have not enough strength to establish pure me of consciousness. So feeling pure me at the back, which is pure attention becoming a center, at that portal to the universal I am. That center is very gentle, but it is not etheric. It should have a level of solidity, should be experienced in a clear way. And then comes another part, another element in that process, that you need to meet yourself as me in that center at the back. And it appears to be very challenging for students. Because they are very much, entirely identified with the primary me in the front. So even if you have not awakened the primary me, you are primary me, and intuitively, subconsciously, you know it. Everybody knows it. This is who we are, this is who human beings are, that primary me, in the eyes. Because that me is unconscious, so people do not register it. They are not aware of it conceptually, but subconsciously they of course experience it. So subconsciously they know, consciously they don't know. So you are so much the primary me that you do not believe that you can be another me, pure me, for that new identity, for that new me to be born and met. The intelligence of the primary me has to be properly transferred into pure me of consciousness. Because who knows that pure me of consciousness is me? It's not the mind, or it's not the primary me that is thinking, oh, that me at the back of my head is another me that I need to acknowledge, and perhaps it is even more important than myself. No, it does not happen in this way. You recognize pure me as being me inside pure me. So you need to meet yourself as me inside pure me. Not confirming that fact from another place, like from the mind. But in order for pure me to recognize itself that I am me, and I am very special, I am very deep, I am very unique, and I need to get to know myself deeper. All of that is happening inside pure me. So that intelligence from the primary me has to move to pure me in order for this type of understanding and awakening to take place. But it's not just moving, it is a surrender. In fact, this is the first on this path, the first time that you can truly experience what surrender is. So that intelligence from primary me has to surrender to pure me. So intelligence is being transferred, but the difference between primary me and pure me as the center of intelligence is that pure me is not a thinker. Only primary me is the thinker. The intelligence in pure me is not the thinking type of intelligence. It's not the conceptually thinking kind of intelligence, because in a way, pure me can think. It's just not thinking conceptually. It's not going through the mind. It's not using the mind in order to experience its intelligence. That not thinking type of intelligence is very important, and you'll experience it more and more as it enters all places in your body, your heart, the absolute, your emotional body, your emotions. So also the not non-thinking type of intelligence has to enter there, to your emotional body. So here you're already learning how to get in touch with that type of intelligence. Above all, it is a feeling intelligence, it feels. But it's also able to orientate itself in its immediate environment. It can surrender, it can activate surrender. It can embody, activate the intention to embody pure me, for instance. Can even identify the level of its well-being, because pure me, the deeper it is absorbed, the happier it is. And sometimes it is stuck, so it is actually suffering, relatively speaking. So it feels not comfortable and it knows it. And because it knows it, so it wants to change it and so forth. So meeting pure me as me. Which is an act of intelligence that was transferred into pure me. Next element is embodying pure me fully. Because if you do not embody pure me fully, it remains, perhaps it's not even pure me, it is just pure attention being at the back. It does not have yet an stable identity. Or even if it's pure me, it is just too weak to maintain it. Too weak to be stabilized. And because it is too weak, also the quality of it is much inferior. So it has to become strong through embodiment. As I said, it's a gentle identity, but it's not etheric. It should be solid. Not solid like primary me, which is too solid, but solid enough. And how do you embody pure me? It's again an act of intelligence. Pure me has to absorb in itself. It's not self-absorption as we usually speak of it, but it is a form of absorption. Pure me is a form of bare attention. But the living quality of that center is pure attention. So even when pure attention establishes a center, it still remains there as the dynamic part of that center. So I would like you to feel pure me at the back and tell me who is feeling pure me. Who is feeling pure me separated from pure me? Is he outside of pure me? Pure attention is, even when pure me is established, pure attention allows maintaining conscious recognition versus intrinsic recognition, which is some kind of a subconscious experience of any state. For instance, you forget absolute, but subconsciously you may actually experience it, meaning it's not entirely unconscious. So it's same with pure me of consciousness. It's you establish a center there, but then you need to remember it. And that is pure attention doing. So pure attention is doing everything. And it's intelligence, obviously. So in that conscious act of conscious recognition of pure me, because attention, pure attention is, after it has awakened pure me, and it established this energetic center, it is still relating to pure me as if from outside, is coming to it. Like the first time when you are going towards the back. Only the first time, there was nothing there, and now there's a pure me. So you are going to something which is already familiar, but you are still reaching out to it. And in this, I used to call it actually in the past second coming of pure attention. In the second coming of pure attention, you feel pure me, but then you need to absorb in pure me in order to embody it. Otherwise, you feel it from outside. You need to come to the point where you know with absolute certainty that I am pure me. And I am not experiencing pure me from outside of pure me. Which means that, because even when you awaken pure me, which is, ideally pure subjectivity, there can be still a level of objectivization of it, which has to be dissolved. So you need to come to the point that I am pure me, to absolute certainty that I am pure me. Embodiment brings strength to pure me, but this, it is not being done by using forceful energy. It is being done by disappearing in pure me. Pure attention has to actually disappear inside pure me. Tune in. You sit on a chair, like in the break we are going to take, and your eyes are open. You let yourself disappear in pure me so much that there is no doubt whatsoever that it is your main center of existence.